Another year, another season of Ninja Warrior Poland. Okay. So Ninja Warrior Poland is currently the only ninja show in the world that gives us 2 seasons a year, and honestly, I'm not too mad at that anymore. Ninja Warrior Poland used to be one of the worst Ninja Warrior shows in the world, and while this season was only a little bit better than their average season, that's still significantly better than everything else I've seen this year. At least maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Essentially, Ninja Warrior Poland is the simplest ninja show left in the world, which is kind of why I appreciate it so much. The format is very simple. 6 episodes, 6 qualifiers, 6 semifinals. After the qualifiers, the top 2 race on the Power Tower for a speed pass, and then everyone else placed 2nd through 10th race the semifinals, or not race, but they run the semifinals course, and then the top 3 from semifinals join the speed pass winner at the end of the episode. 4 people make it to the grand final. Multiply that by 6, 24 people to take on the 4 stages in the finale. 7 episodes, pretty quick and painless, you'd think. Now, I will give them credit where credit is due. Ninja Warrior Poland has the best pacing, arguably the best pacing, out of any ninja show, period. Their profiles don't go longer than 2 minutes. I would say it's closer to a minute or 90 seconds, which is basically what Sasuke does. And unless this is a big competitor, when someone fails the course, they don't drag it out forever. They'll do a quick replay and they'll go right to the next person just like that. They keep it moving at all times. And for that, I really appreciate it because the episodes without advertisements are about an hour and 20 minutes. And it really takes advantage of that time slot and puts as much action in there as possible, kind of. While their editing format, their layout isn't bad, almost everything else is. Their courses are ridiculously easy because their competitors are just not that good. Except for maybe like 20 ninjas, they're just not that good. Like Ring Turn, Cycle Road, and Ring Toss all were regular obstacles this season, which, by the way, they don't really switch out too many obstacles for qualifiers. So you had people constantly failing that. I've been training for 3 months now, and there are times where I'll look at courses and I'll be like, yeah, I can beat up to this obstacle. I can get to this obstacle, and then it's 50-50 or I'm automatically falling. No. On Poland's qualifiers and semifinals, I am confident I could beat all of it right now. And that's because only a handful of them really do train ninja. The rest of them are training OCR, Spartan, that type of stuff. So they're athletic and they have strength, but they don't really have the technique. There's not too many ninja gyms in Poland. There are some, but it's not a whole lot. So the courses look cheap and run down, and the competitors are just not that good. And that wouldn't necessarily be a problem. I like seeing fails. I like seeing funny fails. I like seeing that a course is tough for the competitors. However, Ninja Warrior Poland will show the people failing more than they will show the people succeeding, and it's not really balanced at all. In fact, it's the opposite. They will show 40 minutes of people failing the first 3 obstacles, and then fast forward 6 to 10 clears all at once. And to me, it's not the most fun. They'll still show your important runs, like the 2 guys who make the Power Tower. You still see their runs. They're fast runs. They're efficient. They're good. They're the people who actually do ninja, so of course they're good. But besides that, some people get really shafted, and I think it would be better if they filled more time showing more clears and not just showing people derp on the second obstacle, especially when your course looks kind of cheap. Power Tower races for the Speed Pass, I enjoy. I'm glad that they're keeping the Speed Pass. They never brought in the Safety Pass, so it's nice to see the Speed Pass still kicking around here. However, their Power Tower was a massive downgrade from the last 2 seasons. It was flying shelves at the top to finish, and everything around that was rope jungle, just grabbing ropes and then going into the flying shelves, and that was it. And that was really cheap looking. It just looks like they took a massive budget cut. And the semifinals, I actually didn't hate because you could actually do them pretty speedy. You had a swinging pegboard and a double rumbling dice. And surprisingly, it was still a relatively quick course because it was only 5 obstacles. And I kind of prefer speedier semifinals as opposed to 10 obstacle finals like A&W does. And also, thank goodness, no Ninja versus Ninja in this format, so no one can get mad. The only race they have is the Power Tower race, and it's the Power Tower. That's what it's for. So overall, I didn't hate these qualifiers. I wasn't like blown away by them, but the more entertaining part was definitely the Power Tower race and the semifinals. The problem is trying to get through all of these people failing the first 3 obstacles in the first like 45 minutes of the show. Especially with advertisements, it feels even longer and it does get boring to watch. But without advertisements, I would say it's better to watch because it's all in one go and it feels much more rapid fire. Now we move on to the finale, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I kind of liked Poland's finale. 2 seasons ago, Season 5 of Ninja Warrior Poland had 24 competitors on Stage 1 and only 2 cleared. So Season 6, they made everything a little easier and 17 people cleared. So I was kind of thinking you had something too hard, you had something too easy. How do we find the middle? And I think they did a pretty good job at that. Their Stage 1 had 10 people or 11 people, something like that, 10 or 11 out of 24 people clear, which wasn't too much, wasn't too few. I like it. Their Stage 1 honestly wasn't a bad Stage 1. However, they always tend to throw in an obstacle that just doesn't belong there. And without that obstacle, you could make this a true speed challenge. This season, that obstacle was the slingshot. Slingshot was the 5th obstacle on Stage 1, and that's what really was the time waster or the big ninja killer, because everything else was either so easy or they had so much time on their hands that they could really sit and rest. I personally would have preferred if they just took Slingshot out and cut down the time limit by a minute, minute and a half, and forced these competitors to move a little faster, because honestly, cutting back a minute, making their time limit 3:20, for some of these competitors, you'll still be able to beat all the obstacles, but now it's within the time limit. You know, how fast can you move? And I would have preferred that, but at the end of the day, Stage 1 was kind of enjoyable to watch. Stage 2 was my favorite. And I don't think I've said that about a ninja anything in years. Stage 2 is your true speed stage. And while it was easier than last season, I will say, there were still some really unique obstacle choices that I actually really respected them for. Cat grab as the final obstacle of Stage 2 is actually so chaotic. I love it. I love it. They had sideways, but sideways ascending. So they had to go across and up at the same time. I thought that was a nice touch. And granted, we only took out like 3 or 4 people on Stage 2, so it could have been a little tougher. Time limit could have been a little tighter, but I was entertained. I had fun with it, honestly. Stage 3 was pretty much just the competitors versus the flying bar and the cliffhanger, and I wasn't totally blown away by that. But at the same time, it was whatever. Yeah. Stage 3 has a history of being too hard in certain spots for Poland, to the point where one move will take out everybody. Last season, the window hang had a massive dino up, and it took out pretty much everybody who made it there. I mean, it took out almost everyone who made Stage 3. So to see that they adjusted / nerfed Stage 3 was honestly necessary, and I'm glad production acknowledged that. And instead, they went from about 7 people on Stage 3 to 2 people on the final stage. I was actually kind of excited to see all 4 stages packed into an hour and a half in this way. Mind you, the action is going. You also, I totally forgot, shout out to the 2 women that made it to Stage 1 this season, the 2nd and 3rd women ever in Poland to make it that far, so kudos to them. There were a lot of highlights in this, that's what I'm trying to say. The final stage, we had a decent rope attempt and then a bad rope attempt, but they were getting a lot of pull, and it was obvious. But overall, I actually enjoyed the finale. There wasn't anything I hated about it. There were things that I wish could have been better and things that I actually think were fine. So Poland's kind of doing better now. I don't know where this is going to land on my 2023 rankings, but this is the first review I've recorded in a while that hasn't made me inherently, instantly mad. And I think that's a good sign. So be sticking around for The Vault, which is our personal archives on the Discord server. Check the link in the description. I'll be adding Ninja Warrior Poland Season 7 to those archives so all of you guys can watch it. What did you guys think of the season if you saw it, or the finale if you were in my watch party? Comment below, and of course, subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.